is now.
Good morning. I'm Ron Lucas. I'm the Deputy Service Safety Director for the City of Athens, and I'd like to thank you all for the short notice of being able to attend today's press conference regarding the unfortunate situation with the rock slide that occurred on Fort Street. I'm here with Fire Chief Bob Troxel, Engineering Public Works Director Andy Stone, and Service Safety Director Paula Horan Mosley. I'm going to read a statement from the city's perspective, and when I'm complete, I will open it up for questions, and everyone around the table will be able to help answer your questions. So, around 10:15 p.m. on Tuesday, March 20th, a rock slide occurred in the vicinity of 18 and 24th Street. The largest boulder, which was approximately 25 feet in diameter, struck a house at 24th. Significant damage to the carport of the home occurred. A vehicle was completely crushed under the large boulder, and 3 other vehicles were damaged. Thankfully, no one was injured. Unfortunately, residents at 18 and 24 are currently displaced due to the lack of electric and gas to their homes. City crews, including fire, police, and public works, engineering and public works, responded to the rock slide. A 4-inch water line main was broken by the slide. 2 electric poles were destroyed by the event. AEP responded and restored power to most of the residents in the area. Columbia Gas shut off gas service to both 18 and 24th, and city crews from Engineering and Public Works repaired the water line by 6 a.m. this morning. So the rock slide was probably caused by tree roots and significant rain that penetrated a fissure. Over time, this caused the rock to fail. Geotechnical specialists will be brought in to assess the hillside. Fort Street will remain closed to through traffic until our public works crews can remove the rock and repair the roadway. Questions?
You said 2 poles. I'd heard it was 3 poles.
There were 3 poles in the area that lost lines. The lines got ripped off of them. There were 2 poles that were actually destroyed that they had to replace.
And you had indicated that this was roots going into the rock and breaking it up. Is that what I heard you say?
That's correct.
Okay.
From what you saw so far, is there a high probability that more of the rocks will have to come down off of that cliff?
It's hard to say at this point. I think that it's probably, we deemed it stable enough last night that emergency personnel could work in the area. However, we're going to climb around there a little bit more today and look to see if anything looks extremely loose. Eventually, if we find other large sections that look like it could break away, we may try to do some preemptive removal.
And was this kind of thing done prior to this happening? Were you monitoring that area? Because talking to the folks who lived there, they said we kind of were worried that this was going to happen eventually. I mean, does the city do anything proactively to prevent that?
I can speak to that. Right now, I mean, we prohibit parking on one side of the street specifically because of, other than it's a narrow street for potential rock slides. There have been a couple rock slides over the history of that street, the nature of the area being the former clay mine. A lot of the hillside was removed about 100 years ago, and it has exposed some upper level sandstone strata that otherwise would not have been exposed high up in the air. As far as monitoring, it's such a difficult thing to determine the condition of those rocks. It would be difficult to monitor.
Can you give me a rough idea of when maybe one of your crews had been out there to pick up some of the rocks that maybe have fallen from that particular cliff? General idea. Within the past year.
The last significant slide that occurred in this area was about 200 feet to the northeast, and it was about 7 years ago. And in that particular instance, it was due to a garden hose at one of the houses on the street above the rock slide area being left on for approximately 2 weeks and saturating the side of the hill. Lost quite a few rocks, and it was more of an earthen slip as opposed to a large boulder coming down. But as far as cleaning up rocks that have fallen, I cannot remember any in the last 8 years. I know that there's a very large rock in the front yard, not as large as the one that fell last night, but a large rock in the front yard of one of the other houses there, I'm told fell in the 1930s. But recently we've not picked up any rocks now.
Now I guess the question is, how are you gonna move that sucker out of there?
Well, it's weathered sandstone, and when we were working in the area last night, we hit it several times with a backhoe and a bucket loader, and we think that with jackhammers and a hoe ram specifically, we'll be able to carve off sections of the boulder and take it out a little bit at a time.
Do you have any estimate on the weight of it?
I don't.